showtime.
It's showtime. And here we go.
Welcome into another episode of the Movie Geek Podcast. I'm your host, George T., and we are going to be talking about Predator, Killer of Killers, and also what to expect going forward with Predator, and we will rank the Predator movies and reverse order because and we'll also include Alien vs. Predator because it has Predator in the name. And where everything ranks. And so with that, this is a Hulu exclusive, just like Prey was. Prey was very good 2023. And subsequently, we were thinking that Prey 2 would be in the offering because it was that good. But we are going to be getting Predator Badlands toward the end of this year. But we've got this, which has so many elements of all the movies together. And I will explain most of that, or maybe all of it, during this thing. So we have an animated film that is very, very good. The kill scenes are crazy. And again, if you've seen any type of anime movie with decent kill scenes, then you'll know what I mean. I'm not going to give away a lot of them, but some of the weaponry that the Predators have in these different eras of time is pretty cool. Pretty cool. And there are different Predators for every. So in this movie, we have 3 different protagonists in their little episodes inside the movie. There is the 871 Viking Ursa, voiced by Lindsay Lavanchi. Her episode was named The Shield. So basically, think like God of War type. There was a lot of that face paint and everything, and she's a Viking leader set on a quest, and the Predator is kind of watching over this, and then he decides to attack the remaining humans after the slaughter, and she is the lone survivor of that. She winds up killing the Predator that was on the planet at the time, and she is taken away into the ship. Then we get to the next one, which is a samurai one, which is pretty interesting. 1609 Japan. The Sword is the name of this one. Kenji, played by Louis Asqua, is a brother who is disgraced by his brother. In front of his father, he leaves the clan and now comes back seeking revenge on his brother for what he has done to the land. All in all, the Predator is watching and trying to figure out what is going on. He then intervenes in this and is wound up eventually killed by Kenji. He is also taken away in the spaceship. So basically, if you kill a Predator, you are considered valuable to them, kind of like when you saw Alien vs. Predator, where she wasn't taken away, but she was acknowledged by the big Predator who came down from the spaceship. So we'll get into all that, how that ties in. And then finally, 1941 Florida, The Bullet. Torres, played by Rick Gonzalez, is a young man who wants to fly a plane. This is during war times. I would assume it has something to do with um, Pearl Harbor, because it's 1941. And he figures out how to finally fly a plane, and then notices that there is something else in the air with them, and figures out a way to defeat the predator in this one as well. He goes back to his father's garage to go and work on cars when he is taken away. So all three of them basically meet up in the belly of the predator ship. They obviously don't speak the same languages, so it's hard for them to communicate at first. They have to kind of figure it out. They are then thrusted into basically think of like a Colosseum, the Colosseum in Gladiator. They are kind of thrown into combat against predators, and they wind up winning. Now, they are threatened to be killed when Torres figures out a way that they could probably all escape. He is able to somehow get the collars off their necks, and they try a daring escape onto one of the predator ships that is sitting by. And so, in the midst of all that, Kenji loses almost his entire left arm, like probably from like the muscle here down, and he gets aboard the ship with Torres. Ursa decides that she needs to sacrifice herself to get them to safety. So she slides back down the tether device that they had set up to try to stop the ship from going. She makes it all the way down, disables it, and then is surrounded by predators. They escape, and the lead predator says it's time for hunting, and like multiple ships start heading out. So that's kind of how that ends, where we don't know or speculate what's going to happen to Kenji or Torres at this point. But Ursa, we so think, is going to be killed off by the predators who have surrounded her. So again, I left out so much in there, but there's so much good action and everything else. I just wanted to get to the point of this film, which is how it ends and how it's going to tie in to the rest of the films. So Ursa is put into carbon freeze. That's the best way I can describe it. She is on the big main predator ship, and we see loads of sleeper pods, more or less cryopods. And as we kind of pan, there seems to be, and this is definitely spoilers, there seems to be somewhat of like an alien presence. Like maybe they captured an alien from Alien vs. Predator. But the last scene we see, because we see a bunch of other people, and there's so many pods, but the one we see the most or fixate on is the woman from Prey. She obviously defeated one of the predators in that movie, so she was taken away into the ship. Fascinating stuff for me. So again, the movie has ties to all of the originals, which means that there could be a callback to the original with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I don't know how they would put him into Predator Badlands, because that's what this movie seems to be leaning toward, is Predator Badlands. Um, because it looks like there is a multitude of predators fighting on the planet, just like a big jungle, or it's another planet like Predators with Adrian Brody. So maybe we will see him at some point in Predator Badlands, or maybe a film to come. So it kind of ties into all of it. There is a scene with um, Torres in the gladiator arena kind of thing, where he is a pistol. This pistol was used in Prey, but was also brought to the attention of in Predator 2, when Danny Glover was able to have the gun on his, just a little pistol. So where did the Predator pick that up from? And has Predator 2 happened yet? Or was he able to get it from? Most likely he got it from the woman from Prey. And then obviously Danny Glover got it when he was on the ship in the second film, which was a total bomb. But we'll get to that very soon. So again, this movie works in a lot of ways. There's a lot of give and takes. There is, references to the Predator, which talked about like super soldier, predators. When the kid opens the pod that's left behind, and it has this magnetic suit, and they say, all right, we're going to go and get them. So that's how that ties in there. And then you've got Alien versus Predator, where we saw aliens partaking in this gladiator combat. In the first one in the temple, and then in Requiem, they're outside of the temple and trying to kill the aliens that have escaped, basically. And then, again, throwback to the original Predator. So again, Predator seems to have kind of a comeback here, and two really good films back to back: Prey, and now this one. And I'm assuming Badlands is going to look just as good. Here's counting. So if you've seen this already, tell me what you think in the comments. You like it? Didn't like it? It was definitely a good movie. 2 thumbs up for me. 2 thumbs up. There are some movies that have had these type of bridge movies, animated films, to their counterparts. Like, for example, when Chronicles of Riddick came out, when they did the kind of a box set, Pitch Black to Chronicles of Riddick, they did Dark Fury, which kind of showed a side of Riddick that we wanted to see. We wanted to see that killer Riddick, and he was able to survive the Merc ship and then proceed to Chronicles of Riddick. That worked. Matrix, the Animatrix movie, which kind of gave a backstory to all of the stuff that was going on in the Matrix throughout, and it tied into some of the storylines. So there is these type of examples of movies that have been. There is the need sometimes for these animated movies because they can take a little bit more leeway, and it helps out the franchise. So, uh, also, I loved the game Dead Space. They had a animated, uh, two animated uh, movies that kind of explained the whole universe for Dead Space, which was really cool. I actually have a script. I may have mentioned that a few times. I would love to get it to somebody to see if they would write it or direct it. You know, it's just an outline. It definitely should be a movie. I mean, we've got plenty of examples of movies. So, all right. So let's rank the movies. So I didn't know that Alien vs. Predator originally was like a comic book, but those are definitely down on my list. They are definitely better than Predator 2. Predator 2 is definitely the worst by far. It is almost a money grab. You throw you throw a predator into LA, which is crime ridden. You've got this is how bad this movie is. So you have Danny Glover, who plays a cop, you know, well off the heels of Lethal Weapon. You've got Mary Chico Alonso in this film. Uh, you have Gary Busey, uh, Bill Paxton. You have Morton Downey Jr., who is a talk show host. One of those controversial talk show hosts. He's like Howard Stern, basically, for TV. And subsequently, like Jerry Springer came along well after Morton Downey Jr. But Morton Downey Jr. was one of the original badass, take no prisoners, I'll say what I want to say, love me, hate me kind of thing. So put all that together, and you have probably the dumbest plot ever. It's just a recipe for disaster, and thank God they didn't want to make another one after that. Until later on, years later. Alien vs. Predator and Alien vs. Predator Requiem, money grabs for me. So those two would be right, or should be next. You throw two franchises together. One was kind of on the decline with Aliens because we had seen Aliens for a while. Predator had, kind of run its course as well. So you had to, kind of mix and match. And again, it was a comic book. And I don't know how accurate it was to the comic book. I never read the comic books. I never even knew it was a comic book until they said, oh, this was a comic book. Crazy. But the movie's kind of stunk. Predators hunting aliens, aliens killing predators. It seemed like a good concept, but the human element in it just makes it dumb. Because now you have the aliens, fighting both humans and predators, because the humans are taking the predator side. Again, it's just those are jumble messes. If you liked them, that's fine. I do own them because they are part of Aliens, but okay. Alien Resurrection was probably like those two, I would assume. So let's not even go to that alien side of things. So Predators So the Predator would be next. This was the newer one. You had um, Thomas Jane, you had Olivia Munn, you had Jake Busey was in this one, Michael K. Uh, Sterling K. Brown, Keenan Michael K. And so you just had um, just a ragtag bunch of guys uh, trying to save an autistic boy from a predator who, thinks that he is, able to unlock his future, I guess. And then the introduction of the super badass suit for predator killing. So maybe we will see that in maybe future episodes. Predators was pretty good. Adrian Brody was in that one. Um, you had them. So you had a bunch. Oh, Lawrence Fishburne was in it as well. So you had a bunch of different backgrounds of people thrown into the lion's den of predators. Predators were hunting the humans, and again, you had such an eclectic group. You had a doctor, you had some, army guys, you had just the normal run of the mill kind of characters. Lawrence Fishburne had been on the planet for a while. He somehow survived all that time, and then eventually running into these guys and kind of taking some missteps along the way, winds up getting killed. Adrian Brody figures out how to defeat the predators that are remaining on this planet, and most likely now with this introduction, maybe perhaps will be in Predator Badlands or a movie to come. Maybe they will do another animated film and bring his voice talent back. There are so many possibilities with that. Number 2 would be Prey. It was really good. Really, really good. And you cannot, you cannot tell me otherwise. Amber Midthunder was so good as Nira in that movie. And, again, subsequently, she is on the ship in cryo sleep. So we will see her down the line as well. And obviously, finally, number 1 is the original Predator. Classic 80s action movie. You had Arnold Schwarzenegger. You had the late Carl Weathers. You had Jesse Ventura. And many other people in this film. A group of special forces guys who are sent into the jungle under false pretense and subsequently have to survive something that they weren't expecting. They were expecting to go in, seize an asset, and get out with information. There was a team that was sent in before. They find them skinned alive and hung from the tree, and their guts just hanging out. So they think that it is some kind of the cartels that are holding them hostage. It's not even close. And then the Predator starts picking them off one by one, and eventually Arnold survives the original. So could we see Arnold down the line? I don't know how they would do that. They might have to de-age him, or somebody that might be able to look like him, as recast. I just don't know. But the future is bright for Predator. I think also in that same vein, when you're talking about Alien vs. Predator, I think Alien is on the right track as well, because Alien Earth is coming out on Hulu. So Hulu is kind of trying to resurrect both Predator and Aliens. So maybe eventually Alien versus Predator might actually be worth revisiting. But at the present time, no. So Predator, Prey, and Killer of Killers is going to be the top 3 for me in this ranking system. Definitely don't waste your time with Predator 2 if you haven't seen it yet, and if you have, sorry, but it just was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I mean, just alone, Morton Downey Jr., Gary Busey, Bill Paxton, I kind of felt bad for, kind of throwing him into the mix. And then Danny Glover playing a cop. Wow. So, but they, you know what? They made 4 Lethal Weapon movies, so I guess it works. So, again, if you've seen this Killer of Killers, let me know what you think. If you disagree with any of my Predator takes as far as, ranking system and whatnot, let me know. Let's interact. Also hit that like and subscribe button. That would be extremely helpful. I know I've picked up a few subscribers here lately. Would love to pick up some more. So if you're watching the content and you are constantly coming back, hit that subscribe button. It would be really appreciated. That being said, look for more obviously reviews coming up. We got Ballerina. We've got actually a movie that I am trying to finish now. It's kind of a hard finish, but 2073. Also probably a review of How to Train Your Dragon, the live action version, even though I've already seen it as an animated film multiple times. I'm not sure. Also, I'm going to have a special guest on very soon as well. So we get a lot of content. And then help me try to figure out what we're going to do for the 100th episode. We are coming up on, I believe, 100. I think this is number 80. I have to check this, but I'm thinking we might do a live at 100. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down in below, and I will see you all at the movie.
You like that, baby? Let him know where I came from, yeah!
See you next time. Bye.
Waiting for you. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Hasta la vista, baby.
That's all, folks.